Good morning, everyone. Again, I did it. I cleaned out this corner, including my beloved Christmas tree. I didn't move it far, but I had to move it. It was so in the way. I really liked looking at it, but now I'll like looking at this. I'll put some Christmas lights or something on this to get me by. Here it is. Here's our latest project. And I will say it was quite by accident that I picked out the Milwaukee tool color. Okay, it might not have been by accident. It might have been subliminal in my mind. Anyway, it does match the Milwaukee tool colors. And this is the Ford tractor paint, gloss red Ford tractor paint from Fleet Farm. And look at that. See that? I would really like to take credit for doing this on purpose with the color scheme matching Milwaukee, but I didn't. It just worked out that way. This, on the other hand, I got as close to DeWalt colors as I could, and I was pretty successful at that. And I was accidentally pretty successful at this, but it's going to be quite a nice addition to our metal shop, I think. Let me show you it real quick. I have all my magnets put up here. We cleaned them up, and this is a great place to store them all. We have all our clamps, more magnets, more clamps, and we have a power station here. Now this power station was in the clearance aisle at Fleet Farm down in Baxter, Minnesota. And I'm not so sure if it was a great deal or it wasn't a great deal, but it was about $60, and it has a heavy-duty cord and power surge protector on this, which I suppose is what you really need in a welding shop. The nice part about this power station too is that it has a light, so you can see. You know, you get older, you want to see, right? You can turn that on real quick and see all your flap discs, your sizes, your grits. I have my electric belt sander thing I just picked up at Fleet Farm the other day, the Bauer, and some other grinders and tools and things like that, more clamps, wire wheels, wire brushes, cut-off discs, a few chargers, extra chargers, you know, things like that, readily available on the top. The nice part about this light too is it is completely detachable. You know, see that? And then you can use it as a flashlight. And I'm using the cabinet as long as I got the light out. Now let me show you. As paint acetone storage, I have a lot more paint to put in here. I have it stoked away in the corner over there, so we're filling this up pretty good. Definitely worth the effort to make this and save the space. On the sides of our box cabinet, I have some Milwaukee driver sets, and I bought these tool hangers, that and this. I got those on Amazon for 25 bucks for both of them, so you know, $12.50 each. It's a pretty good deal, I thought. It's not as nice as this station that I paid $90 for on Amazon, but probably just as useful. You can see I call it my overflow station. So we got our Milwaukee tool charging system put up here, and our DeWalt system is put up here. So Yeah, I'm beginning to really like the way both of these tool cabinets worked out. Now, neither one of these started off to be what they turned into. This is just scrap metal. That's all I work with, is scrap metal that I can pick up for either nothing or next to nothing. Steel's expensive, and I didn't really need or have to have any of this, so it's just a hobby. I'm a hobbyist. So I get some scrap metal, I start building things. Halfway through it, I figure out what I'm going to use it for. So that's what happened, honestly. So this turned into a DeWalt tool station. This turned into a shrine for my DeWalt tools. And this is probably going to turn into a shrine for my Milwaukee tools. The color is just perfect. And I cheated on DeWalt, and I did get some Milwaukee tools. I'm addicted to tools. I can't help myself. I got these Milwaukee drill driver sets. You know, if you use your credit card enough, you build up points, and then with your points, you can buy things with points through the credit card company. However that works, I don't know how that works, but I had enough points, and they sent me a reminder that I needed to use my points or lose them. So if you look on what they have to offer, they don't sell DeWalt anymore. I used to get a lot of DeWalt tools from them points on the credit cards thing, but they switched to Milwaukee, and that's the only thing they offer in the way of tools. So if you either want Milwaukee tools or stupid stuff, you know, they have stupid stuff. No camping or fishing or anything like that, like in coffee cups and coffee pots and all that stuff we already have. Yeah, I grant you, I already have tools, but I didn't have these tools. I had DeWalt, now I have Milwaukee. So let me show you what I did, because I got these for nothing. I guess it's kind of nothing. I mean, we pay our credit card off every month, so we're not really being charged interest on it. Well, we are, but we're paying it off before the interest kicks in. So these to me are free, and that's what we got. So it came with a nice bag, 2 batteries, and a charging system for nothing. So even though I'm a DeWalt guy, I was at Fleet yesterday, and I always walk down that. Now, those of you that know what Fleet Farm is or live in Minnesota, I think it's Wisconsin, maybe Iowa, I don't know how many states Fleet Farm is in. It's not all of them, but definitely Minnesota, Wisconsin. Yeah, they have an aisle. On the left is your, depending on what side of the aisle you're coming down, and one whole aisle of DeWalt tools and another whole aisle of Milwaukee tools. I usually don't look at the Milwaukee tools, but I did yesterday because I have Milwaukee, and I have a new toolbox that's the Milwaukee color. So I started looking right a little bit instead of left. You know, I was like glancing, like I felt like I was cheating on my wife or something because I wasn't looking at the DeWalt. It's true. So let me show you what I picked up. $199. So it was $200+ off. Now, those of you who've been following the channel know that we camp and fish a lot. And on our Kodiak truck camper with the Arctic Fox truck camper on the bed of it, I carry 18-volt DeWalt tools. Just in case. I've been carrying these 18 volts because I don't use them anymore because we're 20 volt now. But they're big, they're cumbersome, and they take up space. This has always been in the back of my mind, always. So, for $199, like I said, a couple of $100 off. I don't know how they do it, I don't know. But they did, and I picked it up. Let me show you. I am so addicted. I'm like a... Really, I am so addicted. Did I need these? No. Did I want them? Yes. And I'm gonna put them in these bags here, and they're gonna be part of our camper now. It's a 12-volt system. For those of you that live locally, don't bother to go see if you can get yourself the same deal as I got, because I did buy the very last one. And I did confirm that with workers that were there. This was, in fact, the last one. So I guess they went pretty quick, as you would expect. Anyway, we got 2 batteries. There's one, there's one. No, we got the socket. We have the driver, the drill, a nice flashlight, and a hacksaw. A hacksaw. We got the bag and a charger. A nice charger with all of that. So for 199 bucks, I now have a complete tool system for my camper. I'm pretty jazzed about that. So while we're over here, this is my Millermatic 255. It's MIG and Pulse. It is one of the best welders I think a hobbyist like me could ever buy on the market today. In fact, they use these, most professional welding shops use these. I would hate to see how much they are now. I'm not even gonna look how much they are now. I got this back in the day for $3,300. Like I said, that is with the cart and everything. So I'm sure there are a lot more by now. Here's the first thing I ever welded in my whole life. It's only been a couple of years. Welding table, and I kind of made a little bar with some tabs that goes across just underneath the tabletop to hold 4 grinders. I keep some cut-off chop saws and a 110 flux core welder down here. I keep a portable Hobart stick welder inverter down there also, and one of those clamping stations. So as I don't have to pull it out. By clamping stations, I mean something like this jaw horse here. I use these every day. Every time I'm working in the shop, I use at least one of these. Mostly this one because I like it better. But we do have the Harbor Freight version of this, which is just as good, I think. And that's what I was talking about down here on the shelf. We got our vise. We made a tool holder out of scrap metal over here. Right here. It's just old scrap metal. I actually made a video of this, I think last year or something like that. It's just where I keep, just stuck all this metal together, and I keep my tools that I need for the welding table right on this little holder here. It works really great. We have both Harbor Freight bandsaws. And pretty near every project we use them both. I keep that one at a 45-degree angle, and obviously use that for to cut smaller steel. What's in front of it is my Lincoln electric fume extractor. It's the mini version, not something I would use with flux or any stick welding, but it's fantastic for MIG welding. I use it with that every time. We also have the OmniPro 220 Vulcan welder. This thing is fantastic. I've had some problems with the feed on it. I think it may be operator error or cheap wire, but I've since corrected that. It's been working flawlessly. I love it. It'll do. I have the aluminum gun for it, I think, down here. Okay. Yep, there it is. I was like, hey, did I lose it? It's just too dark to see because it's a dark case. But yeah, I have the aluminum gun for it, and some extra wire, some flux wire. And in the drawers, I keep a lot of TIG welding supplies. Here's the stick welding supplies here. But because I plan on learning TIG welding someday, there's wire, brushes, accessories, TIG welding supplies. a whole bunch of stuff that I had completely forgot I had. And I'm reminding myself. Here we have a drawer full of TIG welding. And this is a lot of this stuff here is for my plasma cutter. Accessories and things that in case something breaks down, you'll have pieces and parts in case nothing is open again. I always keep that in the back of my mind, you know, where you take everything for granted, that if something breaks down, we'll just go get another part for it. Well, I don't think in those terms. I think in the terms of, okay, I'm going to get a Vulcan welder. I want to get as many extra parts at the same time I get the welder to go with it. That way, if I run into a problem, I can address it immediately. And here's my Pro TIG 165. I've only used it one time, and that was to practice, and I was horrible at it. You know, the foot pedal and everything. I got a whole bunch of wire. Here's my overflow grinding station up under here. I keep used flap discs and cut-off wheels and things that still have life left in them. I keep in this little basket up here. Sometimes you want a fresh start with your flap discs or cut-off wheels. You just do, because you just do. Those of you that weld know what I'm talking about. This isn't going to be a big enough, for example, to complete one job that you're going to do. So rather than use this up and then change out in the middle of a project, a lot of times I'll just put a fresh one on and use up the whole disc. But we hold on to this stuff. I actually got a 5, maybe a couple of them even, a couple of 5-gallon buckets, Harbor Freight buckets full of used flap discs, wire wheels, cut-off discs, things in a pinch you just don't want to throw away because there's still a little bit of life left in them. But as long as times are okay with us, we'll use the good stuff. If times go south, we'll have a backup plan. I keep all my varying degrees of grits and size flap discs and wire wheels and cut-off discs and clamps, all of that sort of thing hung up here. And on the shelf I have all my various stick welding supplies, Harbor Freight tube notcher, we got the Milwaukee bandsaw, along with the Harbor Freight bandsaw hidden in the back there. We've got our DeWalt portable fan and Bluetooth speaker, another spare heating gun, and we have 4. I had to think. We have 4 metal cutting circular saws in varying sizes. I can cut up to 1.5 inch thick steel with one of the, I can't pronounce the name, Fiat, something like that. Circular cutoff saw that'll cut just about any size steel that I could ever imagine. So we got these. We have a lot of replacement blades for all of it. This is going to run on forever, so let me speed things up. This may have to come down too, but not yet. So we have our microwave oven. You never know when you don't want to go back inside to eat. You just heat your food up out here, right in the middle of a project. Heat your sandwich up. You're good to go, right? We have a coffee station too. That is even more important than our microwave. Wi-Fi, large screen TV with Wi-Fi streaming service, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Paramount Plus. Thank you, we got it all. It's all out here in our small space in case we get bored, right? We can not do any work and just sit down and watch TV. I like doing that at Christmas. I like watching Christmas puppet shows. It's true. So we have a refrigerator. We have our Harbor Freight fireplace. This is our heating station here. This is a Chinese diesel heater. This is one of the smartest things I have ever done as far as organizing or getting this shop ready to go in service. In service, you know, that's military talk. So it's on right now, and it is pumping out some serious heat. This is the only thing that is heating the shop at this time. It's between 10 and 20 degrees outside, and in here it's in the 60s, and it's strictly because of this. It works that good. And I use the Duracell power station. It is a lead battery, and it does a fantastic job. I got this at Costco for $4.99. I haven't seen them there lately. I don't think they sell them anymore. They sell a different version. I think the version they sell now is not an acid battery. So this has been here for a couple of years, and the reason I feel thankful that I picked this up is because if the power does go out, this heater will just keep on pumping instantaneously. It won't skip a beat. Well, that's kind of like what that's for. So that's really nice, and this works fantastic. And we have our miscellaneous tools and toolboxes here. Drill bits, you name it, we got it. As far as tools go, our DeWalt staplers, nailers, finish nailers, DeWalt specialized attachments for cutting steel, things like that. We keep all our spare parts, screws, everything. You know, we use these fastener type things all the time. There's the overflow on the top, and we have all of our nuts and bolts. We don't throw nothing of value out here at all. We have all our nitrate gloves. We have a bag full of Gorilla Grip gloves here. And we have our coffee station over here with our Menards specialized lights. I really like it because it's got plug-in stations. See that? And yeah, it works really well. Here is a roadside pickup for free that we got. Running around town, I keep all my drill bits and things like that in here because we have our drill station here. This is our Magna drill, whatever you call these things. Mag drills. It's DeWalt, of course, and it works fantastic. This is one of the first things that I built here. It's just a metal storage box. It's also built out of scrap parts. I think I built this, I think there was a video series I did on this. It's called Steampunk Chest Build or something like that. One of the very first things that I ever built. It came out, I thought, pretty good. And like I said, I just use it for metal storage. It's built completely out of steel, you know, spare parts, including old saw blades and things like that. This is our die grinder station with our die grinder parts in it. Everything related to die grinder, whether it be air, battery operated or electric, we have all the attachments here. And in here I keep a lot of air tools, a lot of accessories. See, this air tools, knife sharpeners. 90% of it, it's all like a extra respirator mask, filters, that sort of thing. And here's also a vice station. We have two vices here, and they rotate around. I just have it flush now, but we got the tube and the regular. Harbor Freight, of course. Harbor Freight has been very good to me, especially their prices, their sale prices. In this corner we have our Harbor Freight McGraw 21-gallon air compressor. That's going to be replaced pretty quickly with at least a 60-gallon I want at least a 220 volt air compressor. I haven't been using this air compressor because it's too small for my needs. It doesn't run the plasma cutter that well. Also here we have our oxyacetylene torch kit. We don't use it that often, but it's here for the few times that we did use it. And we have our air station. We have several of these bench grinders. I think we have about, off the top of my head, I think about 6 of them. Let me tell you a little secret. We got an overflow tool station. It's true. And in that overflow tool station, it's in one of my shipping containers. We have several versions of this. This is a Ryobi, but we have the DeWalt and 3 or 4 Harbor Freight. You know, wire wheels with varying things that are attached to them, so we don't have to switch the wheels out all the time. And to be fair, these bench grinders are pretty cheap. You can pick them up pretty cheap, especially at Harbor Freight. If you got a pocket full of coupons, you know, I think I got like 3 of the Harbor Freight grinders. I walked in there one day and they had the Inside Track Club member deal things marked on all of them. What I like to do between projects when I'm out here relaxing and just, you know, guys are kind of weird like that. They like to sit around their tools and just touch them. What I do is I picked up this carpet at a secondhand store, and we put our little carpet runner down here between projects just to give it that living room, cozy feel. You know, I got toolboxes in my living room and kitchen. I also have scrap metal end tables and scrap metal bookshelves and all that stuff that we made in here. So this kind of feels right at home. This feels like my living room already, except for I'm surrounded with my tools. This is the Magnamatic. It's a dust collection system. This was made for lawnmower blades. It has a bunch of attachments that sharpen lawnmower blades. I'm pretty sure this is what this design of this was. I put on all of this stuff. I needed something because I have a small space, and when it's 20 below zero, you don't want to take your project outside to do grinding. Then it gets dusty in here. It gets so dusty. This helps a lot. It doesn't eliminate all the dust, but it'll take out at least 50%. 50 to 60, 70% of the dust will get sucked right down in here. So I'll pull this up to next to wherever I'm grinding out a weld or something like that, or beveling a piece of steel. And I'll just turn this on, and a lot of the debris will get sucked right down in here. And then what doesn't get sucked out, I'll just use my leaf blower, Ryobi leaf blower, and just blow the rest of it. I'll open up the overhead door and just blow the rest of the dust out of here best I can. And then I'll give it a field day cleaning after every project, which is what I just finished doing. I'll give the shop a really good cleaning before every project, so I know where everything's at and I feel organized. That's important to me, feeling organized. I have the titanium plasma cutter from Harbor Freight, the 45 series. Now they do make a 65 now, of course. After I bought the 45, they come out with the 65. They do that stuff on purpose, you know that, right? They'll taunt you. They'll say, oh, you only have the 45? Well, we have a 65 now. And they get me every time, every time. Here's our thick metal cutting circular saw. It's called a slugger. I've only used this a couple of times, and this thing is a beast. This thing will cut some serious steel. This I can tell you. think the brand name is Fine, F-E-I-N or F-I-E-N, and this is the Slugger. So this is far better to use this, I think, than a plasma cutter for cutting thick metal. Everything I open up, metal shavings come flying out of it. After I cleaned up, metal shavings just everywhere, just from opening that box. Isn't it great? But this was the main purpose of the video, guys, to show you the final resting spot of our last project. So I made both of these, the last two projects, and if I can do it, you can do it. And that's not hyperbole, that's not me just saying that. Believe me, with nothing but scrap metal. And of course it's all lockable. If we ever want to lock it, anything up, we can. If we ever went south for the winter or something like that, which we never will, but if we did, these would be locked. Alright guys, I just thought I'd give you a real quick look around when everything's clean, everything's organized. It's so rare that I wanted to share it. So, I'll see you guys on the next one. God bless. Another project maybe? I don't know. Hey, I just noticed that my paint also matches my Tombstone Lincoln AC 225 arc welder.